So I bought that VHS Women and Men, and when I got it,
oh no,
it was broken.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be Women and Men 2 inside.
So I glued it, and it kind of seems like it worked, right? But then I was thinking, man, what if it doesn't work? I should probably just get another one.
What?
In case this one doesn't work.
Really?
So then I got this one.
Wow. Well, that's cool. They both look different. Are you about to pick out a third one?
So now I'm in for a pound, right? Because when I was finding that second one, there was a third one.
Wow. How much are you paying for these?
Thousands of dollars. So I now have what I'm hoping are the only 3 variants for this.
You have the most copies of Women and Men on VHS of anyone on the planet.
I do. This one's really weird. It looks like a exercise video with like Kathy Ireland.
Yes.
Right?
Kama Sutra vibe at the bottom there a little.
And it's like, why did you focus specifically on her for this one?
It must have been in that little Melanie Griffith window. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing Filmographies. We're here for the 3rd Robert Longstreet credit.
That's right, Jules.
Ding-a-ling-less.
Incorrect. The 3rd Robert Longstreet credit is the week that girl died.
That's what I said.
I did find out some things about Robert Longstreet.
Oh, like his social security number?
Yes, 555.
Oh, damn.
That's it.
I don't think he's American.
I guess he did plays for quite a while.
Okay.
Couldn't get cast in anything. Did it for like 8 years.
He like a New York guy, an LA guy?
I think he was East Coasting. Family intervened. He ended up in North Carolina for whatever reason.
Oh.
Ended up being a prop buyer for Matlock.
Oh, sure, right. And then he lands on the Lock.
Auditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Got them 2 roles.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting in 2 years later, another real small part, and then a 4-year gap until the week that girl died, and then a 3-year gap until Ding-a-ling-less.
I was surprised how late both of these movies came out. The week that girl died kind of feels like, I don't know, like a very early 90s kind of movie.
Some places listed as 94. I can't believe that would be right, because otherwise it's 98.
It's possible.
The YouTube channel that you're watching it on is the guy who made its YouTube channel. He just put it up. I think he just became rich from producing MTV shows.
Sean Travis?
Yeah. Like, I think he had something to do with Laguna Beach and the Hills.
This is where it all happened. Laguna Beach, California.
Yeah, the Hills. He was wrapped up in that fiasco.
Mucho De Niro.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet. What about Rocco V. Iacovone? Iacovone?
What the fuck are you saying to me?
That's the writer.
Oh, of what is this thing called again?
The week that girl died.
I was going to say Women and Men Talking.
I keep thinking it's called That Girl Died Last Week. And I Googled that, and it was like just horrific stories about girls dying a week ago.
Are we diving in? I don't know. I thought I had more Longstreet stuff, but I don't think I wrote it down.
No, I have absolutely nothing for this movie except for the synopsis I wrote. There's not really much up for it.
No, you can't even buy a copy of it. It's only on his YouTube. The cast is weirdly stacked.
I guess. I mean, I know Longstreet, Vinnie, Marita, and Ralph. I don't know anybody else. 3 boys and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's everybody. The week that girl died. Well, at a family funeral, Vinnie, Erik Palladino, meets Jessie, Brigitte, Bako, and embarks on a tumultuous fling. I want to say tumultuous.
Mm-hmm.
That is it.
Mm-hmm.
On a tumultuous fling. While trying to climax at a wank booth, Jimmy, Robert Longstreet, meets Marita, Justina Machado, and embarks on a rocky yet promising relationship. While walking his dog, Ralph, Patrick Fischler, runs into Elaine, Shana O'Neill, that girl, and embarks on a one-night stand that threatens to derail his still burgeoning, but as of yet consummated relationship with waitress Cheryl, Michelle Azar, before it even begins. Will these people ultimately find love and blah, blah, blah? That girl freaking dies, bro.
Yeah.
1998, 1 hour, 16 minutes. Probably rated R? It must be. There's tits. Is there tits in it?
No.
There's no tits.
Almost tit. Nipping, but no nudity.
Oh, you know what? I was drawing boobs on a sheet of paper and holding them up in front of the ladies in the movie.
Yeah, this didn't have a rating on IMDb. Venture to guess it probably wasn't even submitted for it, to be honest. This feels like a festival thing.
Yeah, I think it did festivals and nobody bought it. Can you imagine sinking? I imagine a substantial amount of money went into this.
Hard to say.
It's like 80% a real movie. The sound issues, the lighting issues are bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, but I mean, so they probably knew the bar. But it feels like they're shooting just outside of the bar from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia a lot of the time. When Robert Longstreet's in I don't know where he's supposed to be, the red light district? when he's playing basketball. And
Are they in Philadelphia?
I could not discern where this takes place, and I couldn't find where it was filmed.
I'm thinking of Philadelphia because I watched Hustle last
At the
night.
very end of the movie, Vinnie's vehicle has a blue license plate with yellow characters on it. Couldn't make it out, but that suggests California.
What?
But this is clearly not California.
No.
So that may have just been a plate they had, just threw it on from like a prop, Robert Longstreet.
There you go.
But it feels like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, or Boston. Almost felt New York-ish, but maybe like Newark. So the movie starts and Vinnie, it's weird because they use a lot of title cards. And it jumps back in time. So it kind of feels like, why are you telling me it's Saturday, but we spend more time the night before or whatever in their flashbacks? And
when this movie started, I said, oh my God, does this sound awful? I just kept turning it up and being like, I can't really make out what they're saying. And I was like, well, maybe after they're out of the crowd, I'll be able to hear them. And I could better. Eventually I got on its wavelength. But initially I was just like, what is this garbly bullshit?
yeah, I mean, that really didn't hit me too hard.
Well, you got good ears.
So they're at this funeral. It's Vinnie. He's with his sister. It's for his Uncle Al or something.
Yeah, but Uncle Al didn't smoke.
I know. But think how much sooner he'd have died if he did.
Vinny's from like Third Watch, right? He's been in a handful of things.
He's one of those guys. He looks like another guy.
Is he the guy from fucking Harsh Times? Is he in Harsh Times?
Freddy Rodriguez.
I keep getting him mixed up with another dude from Law and Order for a little bit there, whose name I can't remember.
Benjamin Bratt.
No, but thanks for trying.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Mariska Haggerty.
He was one of the runners in Without Limits.
Oh, Jeremy Sisto.
Come on, this is the Game of Kings. You know they found evidence of table tennis in Egypt?
They do look similar-ish.
A little bit. And Robert Longstreet, I was like, this guy, what the hell is this guy? I know who he is, but like, why does he feel so familiar, even though I'm not really that familiar with him? He reminds me of the American version of Matt Berry.
Stephen Toast.
You can fuck that sky high.
Yes. I think Robert Longstreet looks a lot like him.
What do you think about Longstreet now that we're in the thick of it? You couldn't really do anything last week with Matlock and...
No, I think he's a pretty good actor. This is an unfortunate era to be a guy's guy.
We'll get there.
Indie actor.
I know what you're thinking about. We'll get there.
Okay.
I had a cigarette right after that scene, and I said, Jenny, do you think that really ruins these movies for them? When they look back on that experience, like, well, I don't even want to talk about that movie now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a learning experience. I had a great time, and then 20 years later.
I mean, that, it's uncomfortable, but that's not even really it. I mean, it's a little bit of that,
Yeah.
But so he's at the funeral, and his mother, apparently he doesn't have a dad, never did. His mother's like, hey, why are you alone? And the sister's ribbing on him. So he's just outside drinking water, and he tosses it, and it hits a lady in the shoe as she's walking by, Jessie.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. I didn't even...
Oh, that's okay.
Who looks very familiar. She kind of reminds me of, what's her name from Legend?
Jennifer Connelly? That's Labyrinth.
That's Labyrinth.
I never saw Legend.
The Flash Dance.
Jennifer Beals.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
She's a maniac on the floor.
Anyways, they kind of hit it off a little bit. She's coming from a wake or a funeral of her own. And does he think she's someone else initially?
So, how have you been?
I've been good. You?
Well, good. Except for poor Uncle Al. That's...
I'm sorry about your uncle. I'm here from my aunt.
So his mom comes out, his aunt, and she's a lady that you recognize from stuff.
She's dead now. She played Howard Wolowitz's mom on The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
Howard! I can see you looking at the soundbar and being like, okay, great. He blew out the microphone.
So they're like, you must be dating him because you're standing next to him, and come to the house for coffee.
She kind of reminds me of Susie Essman. That's where my mind originally went, and then I was like, no.
Mm-hmm. She's the progenitor for a Susie Essman type. So she goes with him, and, and they're doing a thing, and they're pretending, and she's wiping cake off his face and such. And
maybe slipping a finger in there a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, just to tickle that tongue a little.
And I think we jump then to the diner, right? We don't get the full story.
Their hangouts, their diner hangouts.
So they're at Robert Longstreet, Vinnie, and Ralph, who was the cop or detective that had that weird heart attack in Mulholland Drive.
I don't think he's a cop or a detective.
What is he?
He's like a studio guy.
Okay, he just walks around behind like a Burger King and has a heart attack.
And that homeless lady comes out and he's like,
but he's been everybody will remember me from.
He's been in a ton since.
He's a weird-looking feller, but...
He looks not nearly as weird in this one. It's like he leaned into it, like he got a little thinner. He was in Under the Silver Lake recently.
There's been this rash of lost and found signs for dogs, humans, musical instruments. Over the past 2 years, something really big is going on. I know it.
So he's complaining about his order because he always has to have a BLT.
Extra crispy bacon.
Right.
White bread.
Right.
Dry lettuce.
Right. Ripe tomatoes. Although he doesn't say that the first time. That does come back around. So they added that, I guess. But
no spit.
And the extra pickle on the side.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I remember when I realized you could order extra pickles. I used to do that when I get a hamburger. Because, right, they'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like pickles.
I don't give a fuck. Pickles are cheap.
Double down the pickles.
Give me that pick.
Warm pickles. Have we talked about warm pickles?
I love them. I love warm diner pickle spears.
Oh,
I had one earlier today.
Warm pickles, warm ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just go ahead and put your pickles in the oven for just a tiny bit. You got a warm oven.
Yeah.
You can warm those pickles up. It could be just like at the restaurant.
I just walk around with them in my pocket for a little bit.
That's good. But the heat lamp will dehydrate them a little bit, but so will your pocket.
Oh, you're quite. My pants will definitely absorb a majority of the juices, but it's warm.
Smell pickles?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going in the closet.
Oh, man. The pickle closet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the waitress is like...
You know what, Ralph, honey?
Yes.
If you just say the usual, I promise I'll know what you mean.
But I can't have tuna, And
he's deathly allergic.
Yeah, and so then Robert Longstreet, I think, starts... I mean, they don't seem like they're telling the story, but they show the story as if it's being told.
Is this... I wonder how long it's going to take us to get through this. Like, if we just went straight plot, I wonder if it would really take very long. Because there's not a lot to this movie.
I thought it was going to be a really short one, but now I'm feeling like, God, this is going to be way longer than it needs to be. So he's at one of them booths, like in The Crow.
Longstreet, jack-off booth.
He's jacking off. Yeah, and the window comes down really fast.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that it came down so fast.
Yeah.
And the lady, she's touching her breast, and he go, you know what?
This is not going to work.
Wouldn't you just have a stack of money out?
Mm-hmm.
Just ready to go?
Well, he does, but she even says later, you can multi-feed.
Oh, yeah, put in more than one.
He goes, well, I don't want to spend more than I have to, when he's trying to convince her to leave with him,
Yeah.
So right before the door closes, he's like, oh, it's not you, And then we're back at the diner. I think maybe at this point, Vinnie continues his story. I think it's a little bit before we get to Ralph's, but effectively, Vinnie takes the girl home. He's like, I really like you. We should go out again sometime. And she goes, yeah. He goes, well, I'll call you tomorrow.
He fucked her, right?
No.
Oh, this isn't the time he fucked her?
Mm-mm.
Okay. There is some amazingly ugly bedspreads in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like fucking straight up grab a bedspreads every time somebody's in bed.
Absolutely.
Post-coitus.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like Christmas green and red foliage. And
what are those stupid red poinsettias?
Poinsettias, wreaths. It's just like, good Lord, man. So, she goes, well, I would go out with you tomorrow, but I'm married. And he's like, oh, and you're married?
Listen, just because your mother mistook me for your girlfriend doesn't make me a bad person if I go along with it.
It doesn't make you a bad person. If you're single, you're married. There's a bit of a difference.
Only if you're close-minded.
And he goes, well, I can't, be an adulterer.
Well, you can't be, because you're not married.
He pretty much is just like, why do I keep meeting fucked up women? And she gets out of the car. It's like, all right, later.
Later, bro.
Right? We're back at the diner, and Ralph then's recalling his story about walking his dog. And he's about to round a corner, and he bumps into a heavyset lady, Elaine, who then his dog bites her foot.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? Your dog just bit me.
Well, you damn near crushed him, you whale. What do you expect?
Yeah, dude, he goes to 100 immediately.
It's like, Jesus, Karen, settle the fuck down.
I felt bad for that actress, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she knew what she was getting into, but, honestly, on the day of, I feel like those words might hurt.
But then he goes, oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Max keep asking me why my stomach's so big.
Because I got another one of you guys in here. So, he goes, I'm so sorry. She's like, dude, whatever. I don't got time for this bullshit. Your dog bit me, though. He goes, well, I'll take you to the emergency room. And she goes, no. And walks away. So now we're back in the diner, and it's revealed that he called her a fat whale, and the waitress that he's trying to bang on hears this and is very upset.
Why would she ever want to fuck him to begin with, just based on his personality?
Well, and
That's not a guy at a regular where you'd be like, what? This guy's got something.
Nothing in the one interaction that we saw right now suggests that he's even like laying the groundwork.
Or that anybody would want to be his friend.
It just seems like the waitress knows them, is familiar with them enough that she's cordial, but not like just waiting for him to finally ask her out or anything.
I feel like you would only hang out with this guy if you were friends in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like best friends, just like that kid lived by you, so you hung out with him a lot. This guy sucks. Throughout this whole movie, his story sucks and he sucks.
If a random guy would have been walking by and he heard him yell at her and call her a whale, he probably would have beat him up or threatened him.
Now,
what the hell did you call that lady, mister? And shake him.
In 1998, I don't think so.
No.
They might be like, yeah.
So the waitress storms off. Oh, whatever, Sheila. And he goes after her. But I'm not perfect. Yeah, I can see that now. And she goes outside and he goes after her. And Robert Longstreet takes it upon himself to pontificate the possibility.
It's this early in the movie this happens. Okay.
His friend Ralph may in fact be a homosexual.
You think Ralph is a well, look at Cheryl. You fuck her, wouldn't you? God, I know I would. Seriously, I have never seen him with a girl. Jimmy, he dated my sister.
Is this maybe like 40 minutes in already?
I don't know, man. The time in this movie is so disjointed.
Man, the FAG bombs on this, he cranks them up.
Why don't you just say with me, you think Ralph is a Okay, you think Ralph is a Right, now I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you.
And Longstreet is naturalistic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I like him quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He delivers this speech well. The speech is dreadful, and there's several moments in this movie that showcase the writer's feelings about things, and you're like, ugh.
I guess, yeah.
But fuck, it's hard. The amount of F-bombs dropped constantly.
Yeah, so it's like you think Ralph is gay, and not so many words. And Vinny's like, I don't know. Yeah, who cares, right? I don't know.
That little has seen my dick. Well, so is some
Yeah, why would that make? Can you imagine that? Listen, Jules, you better not be gay because I show you my dick all the time, and if you were gay, that would be a real problem.
And so I think, shit, man. Maybe we see more Robert Longstreet. Maybe we see more of Vinnie. I think the best course of action here is to basically say that Robert Longstreet approaches the exotic performer as she's coming out of work, and she almost maces him. And he's like, no, it's me. And she's just like, what? And eventually he gets to the point.
It's not your fault.
What?
It's not your fault that I couldn't, you were so attractive. There's no excuse. You're exactly the type I fantasize about. I don't know what happened.
She's like, why don't we go have food? I just got off of work and I'm hungry. And he's like, yeah, I'd like that. And then Vinnie ends up going back to Jessie's, and he can't get a hard on.
Oh, yeah.
So they're laying in bed.
In those awful bedspread.
And she's like, whatever, dude. And he's kind of insulting towards her.
Yeah, he's kind of mean.
And she goes to just brush her teeth, like, whatever. And he comes in, and he's flexing his abs, and he's all like, is this some game you play or whatever? Are you playing this? And, your husband's out of town once, and you decide you wanted to freak or whatever. And it's too much pressure. That's why I couldn't do it, and he leaves again. Robert and his lady, they're pretty much hitting it off. He's a little awkward. He's tiptoeing as lightly as he can, but he's kind of hitting some minefields when he's broaching the subject of her job.
Yep.
Disparaging some of the people that go there, and she's like, well, you were there. And eventually, they kiss and have sex, and
they're watching Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, religiously.
At her apartment. He says it's the best last show of the 70s. And she's like, I just thought Starsky was hot.
Right. And she ends up going back to work, and he goes, hey, why don't you not do that? She's like, dude, this is my job. We fucked, like, chill. Just had sex, and she's like, just chill. So he goes into the booth, and he's putting in the money, and he's on the phone, blah, blah, blah. No, I can't leave. This is blah, blah, blah. And then she leaves. Tells her boss she has a toothache, and they go play basketball somewhere.
She destroys him.
Yeah.
He lays on the ground.
Basically he's like, look, I don't have any right to tell you what to do, and I like you. She's like, cool. And they hug and go have food again. Seems like all they do. Ralph eventually gets up the nerve and asks the waitress out, but we see a more flashback where he's waiting outside the hospital, I guess, which is where Elaine works, maybe. or was coming out of? I don't understand what was going on there.
I think she went to the hospital after she got bit.
Okay.
And then he went and waited outside for her to come out.
Okay.
I think it's the same night, the first night.
So she's all like, dude, leave me alone. And he's kind of like, oh, no, it's cool. And they kind of cute talk a little bit. And then she stops and looks at him. And then she's like, all right, well, I got to go. And he goes, what? Where are you going? And she's like, well, because she asks him if he has any girlfriends. And he tells her about the waitress. And then he asks her if she has any boyfriends. And she's like, no, look at me. I'm a whale. And
I don't like it.
What I just said?
No, I mean, did she not say that in the movie?
No. But she just said, well, look at me. I mean,
okay,
you obviously, you know why I don't.
Man,
it's brutal.
Yeah, but like everybody's out there fucking.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
I liked Elaine.
Yeah, she's one of the more charming people in the movie that turns out is full of shitheads.
It's funny because when I see them later all together, I'm like, she made it, right? So she goes, look, I just had a thought, like I wanted to kiss you and you just looked at me, so I should just go. And he goes, no, wait, come here. She goes, who are you talking to? But she goes over there and he kisses her. And then he goes back to her apartment and they have sex. And, he's all, she goes, well, I'm actually going to become a nun and go to a convent. He's like, what? She's like, yeah, I just wanted to have sex once to see what it was like. And now I'm going to go be a nun.
That's so crazy. It's like implied that like she could never fuck. Like nobody would ever find her attractive.
Yeah. Because look, I get it. But if a lady makes enough overtures, guys are going to be like, yeah. And he's a little hurt, but he's also an idiot. So he eventually asks the waitress out. They go out, walking in the park, eating ice cream, I think. And he tells her, he's like, hey, look, I had sex with this lady who, because some guys bike by and they called her really big. Lose some weight. Big lady, they said. And that's when then they kiss and everything. And she goes, you had sex with her? Yeah, I didn't plan on it. It felt right. She's like, was that your first time? And he goes, I'm a 25-year-old man. Yes.
He lives at home with his mom, right?
Uh-huh. They all do.
Maybe not Longstreet.
Not Vinnie. Longstreet does. He says he does, yeah. Vinnie might not. So it seems like he comes by later.
Vinnie lives in his car.
He does. He lives in a la-la land.
He's got a van.
In a van down by the river.
Down by the river. And so she's like, well, all right, whatever. And they try to date. Vinnie goes back to Jessie's and where's your husband? Where's this guy you telling me about or whatever?
He's dead, Julian.
All right.
He's fucking dead.
Okay.
He's been dead for 2 years.
Actually, in this point, when she's doing her thing and she's leaning against the sink talking, you can see somebody in the reflection of the mirror by her. It looks like they're maybe closing or messing with the script. It's like a book movement. Caught my eye.
It's her dead husband.
It's his ghost.
Yeah.
He, bored himself to death reading his autobiography. And he goes, oh, damn, girl, I didn't know. She goes, and this whole time she's just nipping like crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she goes, let's get out of here. I don't care where we go. So they go down to the pier. Like they're fucking Dennis Leary and his Irish cousin. Right? And Monument Avenue. I'm out. I can't be fucking a criminal down by the river.
Oh, I thought like he's had sex with his cousin in Monument Avenue. I was trying to picture it. Yeah, maybe.
So
his Irish cousin, that guy? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they're just hanging out by the railing and he starts.
And they do some railing?
He smooches her and she falls onto a bench and he falls on top of her. And she's like, what? And he goes, no, it's cool, baby. I do this all the time. And they have sex, apparently. I mean, it's what happens, but like they're still fully clothed, but she's kind of buttoning up her coat.
Well, did she have pants on?
Maybe not.
Because I'm thinking
he just poked through the hole?
Yes, he pulls out through his zipper.
Yeah. Now his black pants have white stains all over the front from her vaginal secretions.
Well, I don't know if the secretions are getting on his jeans because he's got to go through her zipper and then bend it down and up. I really like the idea of them doing it through the zippers.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Like literally like not even unzipping but going just through the zipped up teeth. He says something that spoils the mood, but it doesn't. I don't think it's anything offensive.
You smell like my mom.
Exactly. Like, what do you say after sex, right?
Right.
And she's like, dude, no, man, you weren't about me and now you're humping on me and I'm getting out of here. It's like boring. The storyline's so stupid.
I mean, are any of them good?
I mean, they're at least interesting or par for the course acceptable.
My feelings about this movie were, oh, this is great. This is like a Brothers McMullen type of indie movie.
Mm-hmm.
The acting's pretty good. The dialogue's pretty good. And then it just does the same thing through the whole movie. There's like no forward momentum in this movie whatsoever. It's so short, but it feels so long. And you're like, oh, what are we even doing here?
The number of times he goes back to her house.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like this is a very toxic relationship that they're both all about. You know, her neighbor upstairs, he's snooping. He's a very flamboyant homosexual character. And, her husband, of course, isn't dead. They had a fight. So she's just like, God, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I even understood by the end of this movie. So she says she's married. Then she says he's dead. Then she says he left her a long time ago after a fight.
He died. She said he died while having an affair. And then she says, no, he's not dead. We just had a really big fight. And he went out of town and I wanted to pretend like he was dead.
And is that the final answer?
No. So he gives her the singular flower because he almost runs into Bobby.
Yeah, dude, he hides in that little nook and Bobby walks right by him. Bobby would have seen him. Your brain would have been like, oh, there's a fucking person there.
This guy doing
yeah,
this?
You'd be ready
like a weirdo.
I'm in danger. Your brain would tell you there's danger.
Yeah. This is an unlawful entry.
Oh, shit.
You know? And so he's like, that's when he confronts her and he gives her the singular flower.
Now we can be together,
And he leaves again, yeah. Robert Longstreet, there's some hiccups when he introduces her to the guys because he told them what she does. The waitress doesn't want to see Ralph anymore because he's unable to get it up. And then he's acting very weird about it. And he's like stalking her almost. He's like, goes over to her house.
He's actually really scary at that house, trying to get into her
door. Yeah, she's got the chain on and he I'm just,
puts his foot in there to stop her from closing it.
She's like, I'm just going to go to bed. And he's like, well, I'll come in and I'll give you a massage and I'll sing to you. I'll put you to sleep.
Good night, Ralph.
Cheryl. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, little...
Are you okay? What are you doing?
I'm sorry, but I asked you to leave.
He's so scary.
She slams the door, hits him in the foot. Oh my God, she's concerned. Why don't you just go get a baseball bat and break my legs? And she's like, I wish I had a bat. Boom! Slams it on his ass. So now at the restaurant, she's like, tells another waitress, go work that table for me.
Do you recognize the other waitress at all?
I'm thinking she is the lawyer on Luther. Not lawyer, the psychiatrist. Lucifer.
Right, so we're back on that, are we? You want to talk about my identity?
Yes, because you're the devil.
Correct. It's Rachel Harris.
Is it? I'm good.
I still think she's super hot. I used to have a huge crush on her. Her with glasses makes a 1,000,000-point difference, dude. Because I was not, it took me a while to realize that was her, even though I saw her name in the credits. She's fine. She looks crazy hot with those glasses, though.
I think she's got a really moosed up hairstyle in here that's not doing her any favors.
She's got not a lot of personality in this either. This must be real early in her career, because I feel like she really hit it out of the park not long after this. She had a specific persona that she was able to market well and was in a lot.
She's like a less annoying Megan Mullany. John Mulaney. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, she goes,
could you take table 9 for me, please? Sure. But no matter what he orders, you just give him a tuna melt on whole wheat, okay?
Real bitch move. And Ralph lets the cat out of the bag, kind of, that he knows how they met. Robert Longstreet and Marita.
What's the matter, Ralph?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Mine's so nosy sometimes.
No. It's just I didn't expect you to be. I mean, I thought that you'd be different.
He knows.
Knows what?
You told him what I do.
Well, yeah, you care? No,
yes, I care.
Should be embarrassed.
She's pissed. You fucking baby. So she goes to the bathroom. We didn't really touch on this, but every time a scene is about to end and transition to another one, it gets really dark. At first, I thought it was going into a fade, but like an awkward 90s slow fade or something, but it doesn't.
He's got some sort of light setting on his camera that he doesn't realize is happening, I think.
But why is it happening at the end of, at the final, like right before the final shot?
I don't know.
Ends, because then later in the movie, after they have sex on the bench, they just do it as sort of an atmospheric sort of...
Is it like a ship going by?
The ship's going by, and the whole screen goes black except for the top above the ship where you can still see the skyline. And then it comes back. I'm like, what is going on here?
We could ask him.
He just comment on his
Yeah.
video, because it's interesting because it's distracting, but it's also an odd reassurance that this scene's end has come and we're about to go to the next one. Except when they're in the bathroom right now, it does that, but it doesn't immediately go to the next scene. It kind of lingers with the conversation a little bit. So I'm like, well, what is going on here? This is so very peculiar.
Do you think we're the only people that have ever talked about this movie?
Formally, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure people are like, yeah, it wasn't very good.
I didn't actually even look to see how many, well, I guess you can't even see how many, can you see still?
The view counts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just turned off the thumbs down, right?
Right.
So she's in the bathroom, huffing and puffing a little bit. But she comes back and she realizes, like, Robert Longstreet, you're a good guy.
He is actually, other than his gay diatribe at the beginning and his trying to rescue her from her job, he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Those are some deep flaws, but he's a good guy.
But you can see the flaws and understand them at least. Not the gay thing, but wanting her to do better. He's like, obviously I went there. That's how I met you. So I'm not a saint myself, but now that I have met you, I kind of don't want guys jerking off to you.
I honestly wouldn't really have a problem with
I wouldn't
that.
care, to be honest. It's better than porno or prostitution.
Yeah, I would probably
I'd be like, how do I get a job?
Try to maybe encourage you to find something else eventually. Because you can't be old doing that. Well, I wouldn't be like, you're not going back.
Well, because now that I think about it, at least with stripping, you get the money that rains upon you.
Yeah, she's just getting an hourly wage.
I would
sit
assume,
in the box
right?
and rub her tit. She doesn't get naked, probably just because she doesn't want to for the movie.
I'm assuming.
It's not worth it.
No. God, no. So unless there's somehow like a percentage clause in her contract that's like, if enough bills are in, I don't know. It's a weird thing to think about, but
should we do a shot? Maybe we should have them earlier than later because the driving.
That's what I was thinking. I killed so many people last time.
I know.
What do you want?
Please stop doing that. I think I would like a bananas. What are the two flavors?
They're both the same. Cherry limeade.
Are they really? Oh, I'll take one of those.
The waitress sees how Marita forgives homeboy, even though he's already got the tuna sandwich. And she's like, well, I'll eat it. And then the waitress comes around and she goes, how can I take your order? Right? Like Aaron Brockovich or some shit. And he goes,
I'll have the usual. And
I kid you not, audience, the busboy behind him turns around and he goes,
the usual.
Oh, hey! He's getting the usual, and everybody's in uproarious, applause, and bras are flying everywhere, and they're shooting finger guns in the air, and
the old ladies, after they take off their bras, they're clapping those titties together. So it sounds like there's applause coming from everywhere.
And
is that how it sounds?
Yeah. And the movie's over. Salud.
Salud. That's not as good as the other one.
Oh no!
Fuck!
Oh, good lord!
That one really had the rubbing alcohol taste. Shit! I thought these would be the new jam. I don't like that. If it ain't blue, send it back to you.
So the movie isn't over.
No.
Now the gang has decided they need to learn more about Jessie.
Who's Jessie?
The lady that Vinny's fucking with.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So he goes to the funeral home and he gets a little tip from the funeral guy who tells him about a nursing home.
We let her come in here. She gives us $20. She goes in the room with the bodies, comes out 20 minutes later, no questions asked. It's her business. She ain't hurting nobody.
I was going to make a Perry Mason reference, but I realized I haven't been watching it with you, so you wouldn't get it. And I'm not one to make references that people don't get.
Remember that fake-looking dead baby in the first episode?
Oh, it's ran throughout the show.
Oh, really? That baby's in there more?
Dances at one point.
Shut the fuck up. You're thinking of Ally McBeal.
I know.
Ooga chaga ooga. That was the song that they did when the bad CGI baby would dance.
Jason, I said I know.
Okay.
So he goes to the funeral or the elder care facility, and the lady there is like, oh yeah, I didn't know she had any family. All that was left was some clothes, a watch, and an old photo. that her niece, Darla, took with her. Because Darla is Jessie. Oh, God. So just like fucking clockwork, back to Jessie's house. Walking around the side. Which is a weird thing because he always walks around the side of the house. It's like an old Victorian house. To a sliding door, which I guess is their front door?
No.
Because that's the entrance they always go into.
House.
Because there's a guy upstairs. He hides in that doorway, but Bobby comes out the sliding door. Why wouldn't he have come out the front door?
It's got to be a townhome for the way it's situated.
Man. I don't know.
If that guy lives upstairs, it's not like a house.
Because then who's living in the front of the house? Because it's the front door. And this is like a side door and then a sliding door. I think it was just a house they had access to, and, we could put a camera back here.
Is it the same apartment house from No Way Out?
No, but now that I think about it, it actually seems like the same house that he goes to when he visits his mom at the end of the movie.
Oh, maybe that's why we only
see it from the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because there isn't a fence and a hedge.
And that guy isn't up there?
Right. So he goes, what's the deal with you, bitch? He looks around. Bitch. She goes, look, if you must know, that lady was my mom. She had me as a kid.
She was 7.
And as a kid, she was 5. She took that photo.
Yep.
Her husband left, I think, and
her 5-year-old mom,
her father left.
The mom was 5 when she
was like,
he's
like, you're too old for me now. You're 5. I didn't pay the dowry for a 5-year-old.
Whoa.
So she effectively gives Jessie away to her sister.
She said that I reminded her of him. So she dropped me off at Aunt Bev's, and I've never seen her since. So that's why I went to the nursing home, Vinnie, because I wanted to know if I meant anything to her, if she had anything of me.
And when she becomes old enough to learn the truth, red pill in it, she goes, yeah, she told everybody that you were dead, after she gave you away. So she told him that Bobby was dead because she wanted to know how it felt to tell somebody that somebody they don't know, but is dead. And he goes, oh, dang, girl. And he hugs on her. And all the while, everybody else is jammed into the car out front.
Watching.
Including Elaine.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Elaine's part of the crew. It's great.
Like, where did this come from?
Why did they bring her?
For some reason, Elaine's in the car. She's got microwavable popcorn. I guess because she's overweight. And right when he's hugging Jessie, to which there's still no resolution. She's still married.
I like this movie much less today than I did 2 days ago.
It's so infuriating because this isn't even the worst part. So all of a sudden, Ralph, I think, Vinnie, you gotta come here and also simultaneously call the police. She's choking.
Hit her in the stomach. Harder.
And they go around, and Elaine is in their arms on the ground. And they suspect that she's choking on popcorn because they audibly say she put 2 fistfuls in her mouth.
Popcorn, no water. 2 handfuls at a time.
I guess. And they're like, what do we do? And the mood of the group appears to be that she is so large they can't give her the Heimlich, so they're punching her in her stomach. Get the popcorn out of her,
She's really not that fat.
She's not.
No.
She's got big tits, too.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
She's, thick.
I actually like her.
Yeah.
I actually was attracted to her.
I'm not unattracted to her.
I actually was hoping and assuming that Ralph would just end up with her.
Yeah, why not? I don't like how he talks about her.
Because he's even on the phone.
She means nothing to me.
Right.
They seem like they were hitting it off. And
as soon as he says that, and he goes, shut up, basically with his hand. You couldn't see what I was doing, but I was doing it. Shut up with my hand kind of thing.
His finger wiggling.
And then they're just nonchalant about the fact that he just said that this girl means absolutely nothing to her. And in fact, they both lost their virginity together. So she dies. She is in fact the girl that died that week.
She had a heart attack, right?
She did, it turns out.
We did the Heimlich, and it was her fucking heart.
And
don't they all feel bad because they didn't know she was having a heart attack? They thought she was choking.
Ralph does.
I thought she was choking.
Ralph, we all did.
Everybody else is just like, And in fact, Robert Longstreet, he goes, well,
Ralphie, the Heimlich and the CPR, they're very similar.
He's got a bottle of beer or whatever, or champagne or some shit. So then it turns out that now Ralph is unable to get over himself, and have sex with Cheryl. And she even goes out with Vinnie for wine at a bar. And Vinnie's kind of nonchalantly started putting the moves on her. And she even says, are you putting the moves on me? And I'm like, oh, I guess I could see them ending up together. But she's like, nah, I'm with Ralph. And he goes, yeah, that's cool. And he drops her off. And Ralph is outside of her house, of course, because he's a stalker. And they spend the ridiculous amount of time in the car still together. Enough time where if I were Ralph, I'd start to be like, why are they in the car this long? She should just be like, goodbye and leave.
First, my cameras aren't picking up her heat signature at her house anymore. Right? Now she's in this guy's car. I
barely had time to go through her mail in the trash. So one last time, Vinnie goes to see Jessie. And she's, again, closing the sliding door. She sees him. He does a hey kind of wave. And Bobby's there. And she says it aloud as if she doesn't mean it towards Bobby.
It's for Vinnie.
It's for Vinnie.
Yeah.
I love you. And he goes, I know, girl.
She's staring him in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weeping almost. And he knows. And Bobby goes, oh, yeah, I love you too, babe. Where's the food? Are you coming? And she closes the door. And Vinnie goes home to see Mama and sister. Credits roll. God, this movie made me cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only good character died.
It was my weeping anus.
Oh. I shouldn't say the only good character died. I mean, the girl, Marita.
Mm-hmm.
I like Marita.
I do too. I
like Longstreet to a degree. I don't like Vinnie. I don't like Vinnie's girlfriend. I don't like Ralph. The waitress is okay. Elaine's good.
Yeah, Marita is like a good version of Rosie Perez.
When I said I was thirsty, it doesn't mean I want you to bring me a glass of water.
I would say she kind of has a little bit of that manic,
she's sassy,
dream girl vibe.
She's sexy, doesn't take no shit, but she's palatable. She knows her place as a woman.
She got a nice smile.
Yeah, she's got like guns too. She's muscular.
She's very believable, even when she's delivering slightly stupid dialogue. Like it slides out of her nicely.
The best scenes, honestly,
out of her nicely, like poop.
The best scenes, honestly, are her and Robert Longstreet. If we could have, I mean, you could get a full movie out of this thing they got going on, right? She's a sex booth worker, and he's trying,
hopefully with a different writer and different director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody who knows how to work a fucking camera.
Yeah.
You think it was film?
Actually, maybe we shouldn't pick on the director. Maybe it's that cinematographer.
Maybe.
I had to be shot on film, don't you think? I guess it could have been digital.
I would assume it's digital just because of the way I kept doing that thing, but...
Yeah, I suppose. You're probably right. It's a handy cam of some sort.
And how do you, watch the footage? I mean, there's nothing you can do for the main footage, but that boat shot.
Yeah, you can get rid of that. Put a different shot in there. Especially if you're shooting it on a Sony DV.
You can't find a stock footage of a 3-second clip of a boat going by?
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. The music sucks, too.
I don't even remember it.
Now that I think about it, maybe there isn't even music.
I don't remember
I think I'm thinking of the music in Ding-a-ling less. Because, I don't think there's music actually at all in there.
There's nothing to do but roll around every...
man, to be honest, though, going back to the 90s was relatively fun.
Kinda.
This 90s indie vibe. I'm liking Longstreet for this reason specifically alone.
This feels like, God, knock around. No, not knock around, guys. Knuckleheads?
Palookaville? I don't remember that movie, but thank you for that.
Just some schmoes. And they're doing a bank robbery or an armored car robbery, but...
Adam Treese, Vincent Gallo.
Right.
Sam Rockwell?
No, I'm thinking it might be that guy that I think this guy is from Law and Order.
I already forgot who we said he was.
Johnny Blackout?
Ice-T.
From
Johnny Blackout?
From Without Limits.
Oh, Jeremy Sisto.
He's
not in that.
No, but wouldn't that be... Is it Vin Diesel? No. I don't know who it is, but that's how this feels.
Michael Biehn.
Amiable and, like all of the scenes from Good Will Hunting that don't have math in it.
There's a decent amount of potential in this movie. Like, most of the parts are there.
Yeah.
But altogether, no.
It's just the Vinnie Jessie thing is just so fucking non-starter. Like when she goes, he's dead, I'm like, okay, now we've got something. She's actually not in a relationship.
There should have been some events that they all could have grappled with throughout the movie in different locations instead of just that girl dying at the end.
Mm-hmm. Which itself felt very shoehorned. Because she's fat? She has a heart attack? Is that what it is?
Why does she have to be the one that died?
She's like, God, this feels like that TV show on NBC where everybody cries. Mandy Moore is in it. Yeah. When he goes, hey, come here, and she goes, who are you talking to? I was like, kind of like Elaine.
Hey, Elaine.
I got something going on with this Elaine lady. And I was really hoping that
I got something going on with this Elaine. Yeah, we're connecting through time and space.
I was really hoping that his story would end with her. You know, I kind of thought like right when Vinnie was like investigating Elaine's or Jessie's weird nursing home backstory that somebody else is going to die.
Why couldn't it be Vinnie's girlfriend? Vinnie's married girlfriend. Why couldn't she
that
die?
Dies? That's what I thought was going to happen. Either because they were like speculating, oh, maybe she takes money from old people when they die or whatever. And
what if they killed Longstreet's girlfriend off? Wouldn't that just ruin the movie for you, but it would be much more powerful?
Boy, that'd be a gut punch.
She went through the windshield and I held her until the lights went out in her eyes.
Yeah, and now I'm the crow.
I just keep going back to that booth.
What do you give the week that girl died?
Oh, man. For, like, nostalgic sake, there were parts of this I enjoyed. It's not good.
It's kind of got a grind thing going on.
It's not as boring as grind.
Not as boring.
The only problem is the lack of momentum and the sameness of it. The dialogue and everything going on is fine. It's just like your Groundhog Day and every single segment is a Groundhog Day.
The acting is good, but it kind of feels like there's a sense that what they're doing, the material is far better than it is. Because Vinny's really putting it on the gas, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need to go that hard, bruh. I'm going to give this movie a 4.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah, I really can't give it a 5. Marita, she was on 6 Feet Under, I think, for
she was,
a lot of episodes.
I think she was on Ugly Betty, maybe?
Yeah, I can't remember her on 6 Feet Under. I've seen the whole fucking series, but it was 20 years ago, so.
She was on 4 episodes of, what was that Walmart show?
Oh, Superstore.
Yeah.
Is she the mom of America Ferrera?
She's gotta be. Because I'm like,
Did you watch that?
I watched the first season.
It's kind of a nice show.
It is. It's got a template. It's got a community office kind of template. But I really like the interstitials where you just see
the employees that you don't ever talk to much doing something
like
weird.
A customer just laying on a shelf or something, you know.
That was one of the shows I watched during COVID. And I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I need to get all 5 seasons of this and watch it. And I just kind of stopped watching
the
it.
will they, won't they kind of thing ruined it a little bit for me.
I like that guy.
He's fine.
No, he's the best.
Okay.
Ben Feldman?
I'm thinking it's a man of some sort, but
I do like him. And Mark McKinney from The Kids in the Hall is in there.
Exactly.
So, double 4s, we say?
Yeah.
What do you give old Longo?
You know, boy, he comes to life for me here. Because I watched this
after Dingalingless.
And actually only a few hours ago. Yeah, it's interesting because he is just a bit player in Matlock, both episodes.
And you don't even remember him from getting in. You missed his whole
I'm pretty
scene.
sure I looked at the wrong guy.
Yeah,
Did you see Brad Pitt in this movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in every scene.
He is, yeah. I superimposed him on your DVD copy. I didn't want to tell you, but cat's out of the bag now.
Of the week the girl died?
I give Robert Longstreet. Is that his real name?
That's a Spanish. I know. I thought about that too. Robert Longstreet?
Longstreet's a weird name.
I don't know that it would be made up.
Why would you make that up?
He doesn't like social media and he doesn't like doing interviews.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him a 7.
Yeah, he's
very magnetic. I mean, like, we're talking like early Paul Rudd shit here.
Okay.
Where you can see this guy could theoretically be maybe not a leading man, but boy, on the cusp of it.
This kind of made me feel like I made a really good choice picking Robert Longstreet. Because he was a guy that was in stuff where it's like, oh, I kind of like this guy. This is strange. This guy's popping up all the time and I'm seeing his face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And also sometimes it's like, hey, what is this guy doing?
Mm-hmm.
But now watching his arc, I'm like, well, this is really a very interesting character actor arc for this guy. Because he's going to have long gaps between projects now. It does not go well for him for quite a while, man.
I'm wondering if anything's going to pop up that I've seen.
I'll give Robert a 7 too.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This is a fun adventure.
He's really charming.
I like him a lot, yeah. You should listen to those interviews with him. Like, he's down to earth and pretty uncomfortable with it all and does not... You know, when he was doing the guy for Midnight Mass, he spent like the month prior to shooting, like in a hotel room eating junk food, telling himself that he was a piece of shit. And whenever he'd go anywhere, he would just treat himself poorly and he wouldn't look anybody in the eye. So he's ready to go as the fucking alcoholic loser in Midnight Mass.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah, you fucking loser. The rest of us are thinking it too.
I'm eating hot fries.
Hot fries?
Handicap. I love them, man. I fucking love them. I give them to my cat. She goes, oh, it's hot.
Animals don't like spicy food.
They can't taste spice.
No, birds can't
or
taste
sweet.
spice because they God wants them to deliver the seeds in their poop. But dogs and cats, I think, very much.
You know, when I lost my taste to COVID in the battle of COVID, it was weird because I could tell when things were spicy or tangy.
Right.
But I couldn't taste them. It was like the absence of taste, but just
sensation.
Tang.
I was going to say, if you could taste them, but you couldn't tell if they're hot or not, you can rub them around your butthole, and that will really help you decide where on the Scoville scale they are.
Right. Yeah.
This is why people don't listen to the podcast.
No, but we got a hotline.
Oh, shit.
763-637-4811.
763-634-1897. 763-634-1897. Robert Longstreet, do you want to call in?
Hey, bruh.
It'd be cool if you did.
I mean, I'd be about it.
This is the We Doing Filmographies podcast.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook,
Reddit.
YouTubes.
Yes.
We Doing Filmographies.
We tube the U's all day long.
Tweet, do Filmographies. Email us at wedoingfilmographies@gmail.com.
Yep. Shout at us on the street when you drive by.
I feel like, yes, they should do that. Maybe throw something at us.
Lettuce.
Should we do a thing in the beginning of the episode where, like, this is We Doing Filmographies, where we do a deep dive on actors' films?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it self-explanatory?
Seems like it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, at least the filmographies part.
You should also check out the Now Playing Network.
Yeah.
NowPlayingNetwork.net.
Yes.
And you can find lots of radical podcasts. Okay, we'll see you next week with Ding-a-Ling Lists.
Yes.
Which is interesting. We're going to be diving into a handful of movies that float around the same circle of people. This Onar Turkle and the Ball of Wax guy is also somehow involved in all this. I'll do some looking into it before we get to The Pigs.
I should hope so. The Pigs?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Bye.